Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are keeping well. So, my name is Priyanka Singh and I am your science teacher. Today I am here to start with the chapter number 10 of class 8 science. And the name of this chapter is Adolescence and Reproductive Health. So, let's start this topic. Growing up is a natural process. The period of life when the body undergoes changes leading to reproductive maturity is called adolescence. During adolescence, that is teenage, the human body undergoes several changes. These changes include growth and maturation of the reproductive system, which is otherwise non-functional in a child. As a result, the adolescent attains the sexual maturity and becomes capable of reproduction. These changes constitute the stage called puberty. So let's see what is puberty. Puberty. Boys and girls have different features that are distinguishing features present right from birth. They are born with different primary sexual characters, like a boy is born with testes, whereas a girl is born with ovaries. Puberty is the start of the time when a boy is biological ready to become a father and a girl is biological ready to become a mother. Puberty is marked by certain secondary sexual characters which distinguish males from females and with other internal changes. Puberty in girls. Though it is not clearly defined that the secondary sexual character develops at which age, but in most girl puberty stage starts at the age of 11 or 12 and is completed by the age of 17. Female hormone estrogen is responsible for the production of eggs and development of secondary sexual characters in female. Some of the secondary sexual characters that develop in girls during puberty are as follows. Breasts develop and increase in size. Hair develops in the armpits and pubic regions. Hips broaden and pelvic region widens due to deposition of fats. Voice becomes high pitch. The menstrual cycle begins. Puberty in boys. In boys, puberty usually starts around the age of 12 to 14 and continues till about the age of 18. Male hormone, testosterone, is responsible for the development of secondary sex characteristics and the development of sperm cells in males. Some of the secondary sexual characters that develop in boys during puberty are follow. Facial hair, beard and mustache develop. The Adam's apple becomes larger and voice becomes deep and heavy. Muscles develop and shoulders become broad. Hair develop under the armpits, under chest and in the pubic regions. Growth is very rapid at the puberty stage of an individual's life. The changes that one undergoes during this period are both physical and psychological. Some of these changes are discussed here. Changes in height. During puberty, there is a sudden increase in height. At this time, the long bones, that is, the bones of the arms and the legs elongate and make a person tall. Girls usually grow faster than boys, but about the age of 18. Both reach their maximum height. Boys gradually start gaining height and often surpass the height of girls. The rate of increase in height is not same in all individuals. It varies from person to person. Some gain height earlier than the others. Some grow suddenly while some grow gradually. Rate of growth is different in different body parts. Sometimes the arms and leg or hand and feet of adolescents look oversized and out of proportion with the body. But soon the other parts catch up and result in a proportionate body. The height gained during puberty depends on the following factors. Height of an individual is more or less similar to that of some family member because height is a genetic character. Height also depends upon the nutrition received by an individual. It is very important to eat the right kind of food during the growing years to have adequate nutrition. Regular exercise, playing, and good sleep are also important for attaining proper height. Changes in body shape. When a person enters the state of puberty, the body undergoes certain changes. These are described below. In males, the shoulders broaden. The muscles of the arms and leg grow prominently because of protein deposited. In females, The region below the waist becomes wider. Fat starts depositing in the region of hips and thighs. Changes in the voice. In boys, the voice becomes hoarse and heavy due to the extra growth of the voice box or the larynx. The growing voice box in boys can be seen as a protruding part of the throat in the neck regions, just below the chin, and is called Adam's apple. The larynx does not grow conspicuously in females. It is hardly visible from the outside because of its small size. Females generally have a high-pitched and shrieky voice as compared to males. Changes in the activity of sebaceous and sweat glands. During puberty, the activity of sebaceous or oil glands and secretion of sweat glands increases. The sebaceous glands produce oil or sebum, which contains fatty acids and keep the skin oily. This can result in acne and pimples on the face. The sweat glands produce sweat, which is a mixture of salts. During puberty, the secretion of both these glands increases, especially in the armpits. This may result in characteristic odor of the body. Development of sex organs. At puberty, the reproductive organs of both males and females mature completely and become functional. The male sex organs like the testes and penis develop completely. They start producing the male gametes, the sperms and sex hormones. In females, the ovaries enlarge and start producing female gametes called ova or egg and sex hormones. Emotional aspects. Due to body changes, girls and boys feel insecure and sensitive. They become conscious of their figure and personality. They start attracting towards opposite sex. These changes are a natural part of development and maturity and take place in the life of all individuals. Mental and intellectual development. Adolescence is also a period of change in a person's way of thinking. It is the time when the brain acquires the greatest capacity for learning. The intellectual development takes place and the adolescents spend considerable time on thinking and planning for future. It is an exciting phase for growth. During this phase, the adolescents become more independent and understanding. Regulation of pubertal changes. The reproductive organs of human beings, that is, testes and ovary, secrete sex hormones which control all reproductive changes. The testes secrete the male sex hormones called testosterone. This regulates the development of secondary sexual characters and other changes at puberty. During puberty, the male gametes or sperms mature under the influence of testosterone. The ovaries secrete the female sex hormone called estrogen. This results in the pubertal changes such as development of breast, broadening of region below waist, and deposition of fat in the hips and thighs. The release of sex hormones in both males and females is under control of a hormone secreted from endocrine gland called pituitary gland. The pituitary gland itself secretes hormones which result in the development of sex cells. These are as follows. Follicle stimulating hormone FSH in females, interstitial cell stimulating hormone, that is ICSH, in males. So it's time for an extra mile. The primary sex organs are called gonads. Males and female gonads in human are male gonad, testis, female gonad, ovary. Reproductive cycle in females. At puberty, the reproductive organ ovaries mature and start producing gametes. However, the reproductive phase in which gametes are produced is much longer in males than in the females. There are two ovaries which are situated in the abdominal cavity. These produce one mature ovum each after every 4 weeks. The process by which a mature ovum is released from an ovary is called ovulation. During this period, the wall of the uterus becomes thick. This is the preparation of uterus for receiving the fertilized egg and for the development of zygote. If fertilization occurs, the developing zygote gets implanted in the wall of the uterus and develops into a fetus. If fertilization does not occur, the released egg and the thickened lining of the uterus along with its blood vessels are shed off. This causes bleeding called menstrual flow. The bleeding from the vagina due to breakdown of the thickened inner wall of the uterus and its blood vessel is called menstruation. Menstrual flow lasts for 4 to 7 days. The beginning of menstruation of puberty is called menarche. It determines the reproductive life of women. Menstruation occurs once in 28 to 30 days. The cycle of changes takes place in ovaries and uterus every 28 days and marked by the menstrual flow is called menstrual cycle. At 45 to 50 years of age, the menstrual cycle stops. Stoppage of menstrual flow is termed as menopause. Initially, menstrual cycle may be irregular, but it takes some time to become regular. Menstruation cycle includes maturation of the egg, release of the egg, thickening of wall of uterus and breakdown of the thickened inner wall of the uterus in the absence of pregnancy. Menstrual cycle is controlled by hormones. If the egg is fertilized, it gets implanted in the uterus and begins to divide and grow. Sex determination of a baby. Zygote contains chromosomes in the nucleus, which are thread-like structures found in the cells that carry information in the form of genes. Chromosomes present in the zygote are responsible for determining the sex of the baby. The human beings have 23 pairs of chromosomes in the nucleus of each cell. 22 pair of chromosomes out of 23 chromosomes are called autosomes. They are responsible for the general characteristics of the human beings. The remaining one pair XY or XX of the chromosomes is called allosomes or sex chromosomes, which is different in males and females. A female has 2 X chromosomes while a male has 1 X and 1 Y chromosome. The sex of a child totally depends upon the combination of sex chromosomes obtained from the parent. The gametes, egg and sperm, have only one set of chromosomes. The female gametes always have X chromosomes, but the male gametes have X or Y chromosomes. During fertilization, the female gamete egg fuses with the male gamete sperm. Therefore, when a sperm having X chromosome fuses with an egg having X chromosomes, the zygote would develop into a female child having 2 X chromosomes. When a sperm having Y chromosome fuses with an egg having X chromosomes, the zygote would develop into a male child with XY chromosomes. Sex chromosomes of the father determines the sex of an unborn baby. Mother is not responsible for the sex of her baby, and hence to blame her for this is totally unjustified. Endocrine system. The glands are secretory organs and are of 2 main types: exocrine glands, endocrine glands. Exocrine glands are also known as ducted glands, as their secretion are carried by the ducts. The examples of such exocrine glands are salivary gland and ear glands. The glands which do not have ducts are called endocrine glands or ductless glands. The secretion of these glands are called hormones and are released into the blood. The hormones are responsible for controlling and coordinating the working of various organs, growth and development. The major endocrine glands of our body are thyroid gland, adrenals, pancreas, pituitary, gonads, testes in male and ovaries in female. So students, this is the diagram which is showing endocrine system in humans. So go through it. Role of hormones in initiating the reproductive function. The secretion of hormone is under the control of the pituitary gland located at the base of the brain. These hormones reach the other glands to stimulate the production of other hormones. The hormones released by the endocrine glands or ductless glands enter the bloodstream. The hormones then reach a specific body part such as an organ, tissue or cell. Such a body part is called the target site. The target site then responds to hormone. The whole scheme of the role played by hormone in initiating reproductive function is illustrated below. Hormones from pituitary stimulate testes and ovaries to release testosterone in males and estrogen in females. The hormones released in the bloodstream reach the specific part of the body, target site. The hormones stimulate changes in the body at the onset of puberty. Abnormalities caused due to hormonal imbalance, diabetes. A hormone insulin is secreted from the pancreas. When the level of insulin is low in blood, it results in decreased utilization of glucose, which then accumulates in blood. Excess of glucose present in the blood is lost along with the urine. This condition is called diabetes. Goiter. Goiter is caused by deficiency of iodine in the food. In this disease, secretion of thyroxine is reduced, causing enlargement of the thyroid gland and a bulging throat. Suffering from goiter. This is a picture of a man who is suffering from a goiter, that is thyroid. So students, now you all are able to see this table. This table is showing the functions of a few endocrine glands in human beings. So it is divided into three categories. First one is endocrine gland, hormones, then principal action. Hypothalamus, releasing hormones, regulates secretion of hormone from pituitary gland. Pituitary, growth hormone, controls growth. Trophic hormone, stimulates thyroid to produce thyroxine. Prolactin, production of milk by mammary glands. Vasopressin, control and regulates blood pressure. Oxytocin, facilitates childbirth. Thyroid, thyroxine, regulates growth and metabolism. Adrenal, adrenaline, controls heartbeat, blood pressure and breathing rate. Corticoids, regulate carbohydrate metabolism and mineral balance. Pancreas, insulin and glucagon, maintains blood glucose level. Testes, testosterone, development of male secondary sex characters. Ovary, estrogen and progesterone, development of female secondary sex characters and preparing changes in menstrual cycle. Role of hormones in metamorphosis. You have already studied that the development of eggs of insects such as silk moth and frogs into adults through different stages is called metamorphosis. This is controlled by hormones. In insects, change of larva to adult insect is controlled by insect hormone, which is a combination of molting hormone and juvenile hormone. In frogs, metamorphosis is controlled by the hormone thyroxine produced by the thyroid gland. The production of thyroxine requires the presence of iodine in the water. In the absence of iodine, tadpoles cannot become adults. Reproductive health. Health is a general state of a person's physical, mental, and social well-being. Health means freedom from sickness, disease, anxiety, and tensions. To keep the body healthy, every human being needs to have a balanced diet. One should also observe personal hygiene and do physical exercise. Reproductive health is also an important aspect of good health. Reproductive health includes all those aspects that ensure a responsible, safe, and satisfying life. This would be possible only when the people develop awareness regarding the importance of reproductive system in the propagation of human species, the role of the reproductive organs in the population growth, the prevention and control of sexually transmitted diseases, methods of fertility control, safe sexual activities. So, the diseases which are transmitted from an infected person to a healthy person through sexual contact are called sexually transmitted diseases, that is STDs or venereal diseases. The most common STDs are AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome, syphilis, gonorrhea, and trichomoniasis. The causative agent of AIDS is human immunodeficiency virus, that is HIV. The growing body during adolescence needs special attention towards diet, hygiene, etc. to stay healthy. Personal hygiene. Keeping one's own body clean by taking proper bath, wearing clean clothes and eating clean food. Keeping house clean are collectively called personal hygiene. For maintaining good personal and domestic hygiene, the following suggestions should be followed. Have a bath at least once every day. It is more necessary for teenagers because in adolescence, the activity of sebaceous glands or oil glands and sweat glands increases. This makes the body smelly and may lead to serious skin infection. All the parts of the body should be cleaned properly, otherwise, then may catch bacterial infection. Adolescent girls should take special care of cleanliness during the menstrual cycle. Wash your hands properly before and after meals and after going to toilet. Clean your mouth before and after each meal. Do not wear tight dresses, change your clothes, particularly undergarments, every day. Eat freshly cooked food. The food should be kept covered to protect it from flies, etc. Now, physical exercise. All young girls and boys must have some physical exercise like walking, running, cycling, jogging, swimming, skipping, and dancing. It enhances growth, increases blood circulation and releases tensions. Say no to drugs and alcohol. During adolescence, a lot of physical and mental changes occur. The adolescent sometimes may feel confused or insecure due to the stress caused by emotional pressure. Some individual from your group may suggest you to take drugs, some alcohols, or for pleasure or to find relief from anxiety. These are bad for health and should be avoided. Just say no to drugs as they are addictive, habit forming. They have damaging effects on the body and mind. These bad habits of taking drugs, alcohol act as slow poison and degrade the body slowly. AIDS. AIDS is caused by a virus called HIV, that is human immunodeficiency virus. This disease can be passed on from an infected person to another by sharing the needle of the syringe used for injecting drugs, blood transfusion, unprotected sex activities with an infected person and from an infected mother to a child. The HIV virus destroys the natural defense mechanism of the body and make it susceptible to diseases. There is no vaccine for medicine for AIDS so far. So as it stands today, AIDS is a preventive disease. So students, it's time for Reader's Digest. Human beings develop the ability to reproduce after a certain age. Puberty brings about growth in reproductive organs and changes in the body growth of the various parts of the body. Example, development of breast in girls, voice become hoarse in boys, etc. The period during which a child grows into an adult, it's called adolescence. Humans become capable of reproduction after puberty sets in them between the age of 10 to 19 years. During puberty, individuals undergo certain structural and hormonal changes in the body. Some of the changes that take place at puberty are increase in height, change in body shape, change in voice, increased activity of certain glands, development of sex organs, and attainment of mental and emotional maturity. So students, it's time to take your leave. So we'll meet in the next class. Bye.